Welcome to the Jersey Shore podcast with host Damon Galdo on WVLT Cruisin 92.1. We'll take your calls at 856-696-0092.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jersey Shore radio show. That's S-U-R-E because we are always sure. I'm your host, Damon Galdo, here with my co-host, Peter Sykes, who's currently LD6 candidate for Assembly in Camden County. Coming to you live from 92.1 WVLT. So welcome back, everybody. Should have a good show tonight. A lot of stuff going on in the news, a ton of stuff. And I don't know, we want to start off with the breaking news, Pete?
Ooh, breaking news. Go ahead.
Well, apparently Pete just saw it, just looked it up. So there's a big beef going on right now between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So it looks like the left finally got what they wanted. They tried to drive a wedge in between them both for a long time. If anyone doesn't know, Musk is very upset with the big, beautiful bill. He thinks it's too much spending, doesn't like it. So Musk is coming out and saying it's a waste and we should have another party involved. Start another party other than Republicans or Democrats. Trump,
That hit the 80% of the people in the middle. That's what he came out and said.
Yeah. So Trump's firing back. Tesla stock is dropping. So, Pete, I mean, you read most of it, so
apparently Elon is throwing haymakers now and said the real reason we're not getting any movement on the Epstein case is because Trump is on the list.
That's a bold statement. I mean, does Elon Musk know that? I mean, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, we talked about Pete and I we just saw it, literally 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was wondering why my Tesla stock was dropping. So, Trump's firing back and saying he's going to be canceling contracts and all this stuff. So the stock's dropping. Elon comes back and says that Trump is on the Epstein list. Now, I don't know what the heck is going on, but I will tell you one thing. As much as I like Donald Trump, I voted for him, and if he's on that list, then he's going to have to go down with Epstein.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, I want that list. I want people in handcuffs.
I mean, I
hope that he's not.
I doubt he is. I think it's just a few.
They got videos of him out there apparently at the Epstein parties. I mean, I have no idea. It says he's been on the plane 7 times, but they don't believe he's been to the island. I don't know. I just want people held accountable.
Yeah. And as much as I like Trump's policies and America First, all that, everyone needs to be held accountable. So that's where I just want to know that's where we stand. I stand.
Here's my biggest thing, Damon. Here's my biggest thing. All right, I've been sitting here screaming it. The reason that Donald Trump got elected, well, one of them, at least in my, we want to see accountability for the criminals that are out there in these positions of power.
No, you're absolutely right.
And if it turns out that he's one of them, I mean, look, I want accountability. There's no movement on this. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel get in there. He's just changing his whole story around. No, he killed himself, everything, and just like they said, and he looks shook when he gives these interviews. I don't know what it is.
Well, we'll see what we see. We'll see. We find out. I seriously doubt. I mean, the fact that Trump was at a party with him in 1992. I mean, the guy was rich. Trump's rich. He run in a lot of people. So I don't know. This could be just a few going back and forth. I'm not even going to go as far as say this. I'm just wondering how great would it be just to see if this is a social experiment? I mean, just think about it. Somebody like Trump doesn't care pretty much at this point. You think about it. He's already president, second term. So after this, he's done. And, he's 78 years old. Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. Now, Elon gets behind Trump, helps him win the election, does the Doge, did a great job with Doge, and then doesn't like the bill. I don't know if it's all, what if it's planned? Because then everyone hated Elon. They loved Elon at first. Loved electric car. Everyone has to drive them, mandates and everything else they were talking about. And then Elon was with Trump. Then it was burn Tesla. Elon is a fascist. He's Satan. I mean, I went to one of the Tesla protests, did some interviews, and those people were bat blank crazy.
Yeah.
They were nuts. And I've been calling Elon everything under the sun. They're burning Teslas left and right, keying people's cars, breaking windows, and now all of a sudden the left is all they love Elon again.
The Krasensteins are already on it. Elon is a hero. He's coming back.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see it was a social experiment. I'm just curious, but I doubt it is. But I'm gonna hope for that.
Listen, man, I live on the opium, right? I mean, that's what I keep saying. I hope that Trump is on the level, but I can see how he couldn't be. I mean, it's not a hard stretch, once you go ahead and you think about it logically. But with that being said, I'm still in the opium. I hope this is all nonsense, but I want to see these lists come out, man. I mean, we're being run by people that are into very naughty things. All right, they're not good people, and I want to see them out of these positions. And if that's the reason that we're not seeing any movement on this, I think that that's more important than any presidency.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, people in these positions. I mean, even people like Swalwell, the Chinese spy. He got problems. Omar marrying a brother. I mean, like all this moral depravity.
Well, this is the reason that good people can't get in there, because they get in there, they can't do nothing because everybody's deranged.
Yeah. Well, maybe we're going to do something about that. Maybe people that are going to be calling in a little bit are going to do something about that too. So we got a good show ahead of us. We got some good callers calling in shortly.
This one just came out of left field.
Yeah, we didn't expect
to open with this. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that literally 3 minutes before we started the show. I said, "No, is that real?" And yeah, it is. It's Trump and Elon going
at it next. Yeah.
Look at my Tesla stock, and woo, boy, it dropped. So, but I would hold on to it. I'm not selling it. So anybody owns Tesla, I wouldn't panic just yet. So, but other than that, before we get into all kinds of other stuff, I want to talk about your race, man, because primary's coming up. You're lucky you don't have to worry about the primary or not being primary, so that's good. So you got time to prepare for whoever your opponent's going to be because they're getting primary, right?
Yeah, yes. There's a Democrat primary for LD6 right now. It's Lou Greenwald, the incumbent, and I forget who his running mate is. Kane.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other people going in there trying to take that crown. So we'll go ahead and see what happens there. LD4, we have a lady, Barbara McCormick, in our little, Camden County group. And she has a primary coming up here in the primary against Amanda and Jerry in LD4. So we're going to see how that one goes as well.
So, yeah. I mean, I think primaries are healthy. They're just but sometimes you don't always get the better candidate. But and then you got to wind up sticking with the candidate because you're part of that party. But I mean, it's
a lot of it is money related, right? I mean, that's what we were talking about last week. Is that it's unfortunate that money is a big player in this, but in order to get the advertising, in order to get the name recognition, I mean, you got to get your name out there so people get eyes on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what you got to start doing.
Oh yeah. Look, we're gonna get there. Absolutely. I went to the Indian food festival the other day, man. That was fantastic.
Oh yeah, nice people. I went to something like that too. Yeah. So they're. I mean, they're the nicest people around. They were catering to me like left and right. I'm like, hey, I said, I'll get it. I got it. I mean, they welcomed me in. I went with Jack. Last night it was. I think it was a little over a year ago.
Yeah, Jack got the invite again this time, sent it over to me, so we met up out there and, got some pictures and met a lot of nice people, so it was a really good time.
Yeah, I seen the new flyer you're working on. It looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. We're trying. We're trying to get there. We need some more donations, everybody. If you want to, votejackandpete.com, hit us a little something. We'd appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, I know. Don't you hate doing that, though?
I hate it, bro.
I know. When I ran it, was because you hate asking people for money.
Especially right now with everybody so strapped, what I mean? Money is tight, and oh my gosh, yeah, it's horrible. That's why I say let's get money out of politics.
Yeah, I know. But money wins campaigns. And you need money to win to get your name out there. That's pretty much it. Or you have to be famous enough, just name recognition. But no, money wins campaigns. I know, and I hate it. I hate asking people for money because it's like I never wanted to do that. But if I were to run again, then I figured, who cares? It's the only way you're going to win. Because if you want regular people in office that really want to make change, somebody like Pete, then you got to get them elected. You got to get these, lifetime politicians out. Lou Greenwald, 30 years. 30 years in assembly.
I'm telling you.
Really, I don't want. I'm a carpenter. I don't want. When I hit 30 years, that's because I have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to retire. So I think it's time for Lou to retire. That's if he wins the primary, which probably will. 30-year run that he has so far, probably will.
Well, there you go. So look, when we end his political career, he can retire after that. It'll be great.
There you go. You throw him a retirement party.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And that you could have it as a fundraiser at the same time. Maybe have a fundraiser Lou Greenwald retirement party so he can attend his own, contribute to your fundraiser.
Listen, I like it. That'd be wonderful.
Get him a nice gold.
Lou, you want to donate to us, man? We'll take it.
Get him a gold box,
See my new watch, brother. I'm over here straight. You know,
It's like,
let's go.
just trying to have some fun today. It was a rough week for
Everybody.
it seems like everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been a rough week. I've been in a bad mood all week and I don't know what it is. What is it? Is Mercury in retrograde or something like that?
Look, I don't know. I heard something's got to be going on. Maybe it's all the smoke that's out there, right? Those wildfires or something, the haze.
So no, I see my wife is watching. Speaking of that rough week, so my wife, I love her to death. Honey, I love you. So, but I'm telling the story anyway.
Yeah.
So she calls me. I'm at work, and she calls me. She said, I got a flat tire, and I said, "What happened?" She said, the valve stem ripped off her tire, and the back tire, both tires from the driver's side. And I'm like, "Well, what did you hit?" She said, "I didn't hit anything." I'm like, "Well, they don't just fall off, valve stems on the tire." So I'm like, "Where are you?" And she was on Mansfield Pike, and she was in this parking lot, Bike World or whatever. They sold bicycles. So I had to leave work and then take both tires off. Take them, get them fixed. So when I get there, I pull up, and the parking lot is actually shared with the car wash.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sitting there, and I go and I look. I'm like, man, how the heck did that rip off? And then I look at the back tire on the driver's side. That one's ripped off too. I'm like, how did that? But I see the tires shine all over the wheels.
It's nice fancy wheels.
And I look over. I'm like, did you just go through that car wash? And she goes, yeah. And she's been sitting there already for like an hour and a half. By the time she called me and I got the jack, left work, and came here. And I said, well, were the tires flat before you went in the car wash? No. I said, well, wouldn't that kind of like raise a red flag? Hold on a second. I pulled up to the car wash and my tires had air in them. I let the guy take my car through the car wash. I get in it. I go to drive off. Can't even get on the road because the tires are flat. Wouldn't that ring a bell and say, I think the car wash had something to do with it?
I mean, it makes sense. Heather, listen, we love you. All right. There's a judgment-free zone over here. We're not judging. All right. Non-judgmental.
So it was a frustrating day. And I'm like, how? And she's like, don't yell. I said, I'm not yelling. I said, you're yelling too because we're both frustrated. It's a frustrating situation. They had to jack the car up, throw the tires in the back of my truck, take them to get fixed, new valve stems, new sensors, take the tires back, put them back on. So, I missed my podcast Monday night for that.
You know what they say? When life throws you lemons, make lemonade. You know, it's gonna be all right. But yeah, man, it sticks with you. I don't know what it was. I was feeling that too, a little headache or something going on all week. And I'm just ready to start the new week here. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling good. And they said it's going to be a good show. So I saw the thing.
I saw it too.
I do.
Waiting to see. We might have a caller. We'll see.
But yeah. So Pete, you guys, I seen the flyer. It looks good. I know you guys got some strategies going on. I'm not going to give them away just yet. What you're going to do, but one thing is the fundraiser too. Well, we'll get into that later. It looks like we have a caller. So, hi caller, you're live. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Scott. I am from Marlton, New Jersey.
Hey Scott, how you doing?
Scott, how's it going, my friend?
What's going on, Peter? How you doing, bro?
Hey,
how you doing, Damon?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful.
So, what do you think about the whole Musk-Trump thing going on that just broke?
Boy, this is quite the thing to follow, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was fake. I mean, there's no way. I'm seeing Pete just saw it, and he's showing me. I'm like, really? I'm reading it all. I'm like, wow.
Well, in my opinion, never judge a meal before it's served. Generally speaking, when stuff comes out like this, there's hot takes, and there's generally more to the story than meets the eye.
Yeah, most
likely. I will reserve judgment until I, get some more facts.
That's it. They say at least wait a week.
Yes. I mean, listen, it's real simple. If he can be linked to any kind of pedophilia whatsoever, he's no different than any other man that walks this planet. Lock him up.
That's it, my friend.
If it's untrue, then that's some serious allegations to throw at somebody for settle a score or a little quarrel.
Say deport Elon.
That's gonna be
What?
It's gonna be the next thing. He said deport Elon. Is that what his next thing?
Well, I know Elon can't be happy about all the cuts that they made to mandating EVs throughout the country. So
yeah, I know that. I don't know why. I don't know why
it hits his pocket.
Yeah, that was that. I was really curious about that. I was very surprised that happened, but I don't know if it's because he was that upset with the big beautiful bill and all the Doge money they uncovered is kind of like getting, it's for nothing pretty much.
And everybody's being spiteful right now, right?
But the thing is though, Elon Musk, he runs a business, so that's the thing. That's why I tell everybody all the time: the government is not a business. They don't have money. Government doesn't have money. They have our money, our tax dollars. They're not in the business to make a profit because they're not a business. Elon Musk is a businessman. He's looking to make profit, but so he's looking at it in that way. But the government doesn't make profit. They just have to manage money, and they work for the people. So everyone that Elon Musk has they work for him. So he hires and fires them, but the government works for us. So when people want their entitlement programs, they don't want them slashed completely. You can't just do that because even though we're $36 trillion in debt, and this bill is going to put us more in debt, but hopefully the tariffs and everything and the revenue is going to offset that. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully it happens. But there's only three ways to do it to get out of this debt. It's either hike up taxes, big time, and just completely smother the middle class, and that's what will happen. And because you can't not get rid of the entitlement programs, that's what will happen. And so we'll have a lot more middle class people very well on them or very angry that they're getting smacked real hard to pay for other people on the entitlement programs. And then or you cut the entitlement programs, which you can't do that. Social Security and all that stuff, no, you can't touch. But even people that are on welfare and all that stuff, you can't cut them. Americans like their entitlement programs, so that's not going to go. Or we go bankrupt and we lose the U.S. dollar as the world's currency, and America implodes. So which one is it?
We'll see.
Well, I will say this. One of the things I've noticed in life is you think you know everything that's going on, and life has a way of humbling us. Consider the possibility that there's another shoe going to drop that none of us are aware of. So we think of all the possibilities that we can think of, but if there's something in the works that we're not aware of, then to pass judgment and assume it has to be one of those three. Like I say, I have a saying in life, wait for the meal to be served before you judge it. And that's on both sides. It doesn't, I don't know what really brought this about, but I guess we'll find out in due time.
Yeah, we will. So we'll see what happens, when the cards fall. So,
all right, brother, let's move on to some more happier topics here, man. So, you're here with the Justin Barbera camp. How's things looking right now?
That is correct. We're starting to pick up momentum, like a lot of momentum. It's funny that you guys were talking about. I was listening to the cast before I called in, and you guys were talking about how you either have to have money or you have to be rich and famous. And it's hysterical to me because the one thing we never ever do is just put a common everyday man in office, a man who's going to walk in with pure innocence, or a woman. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And if you walk into a job for the first time that you don't think you already know, then you have to learn from the ground up. Well, that means you're going to inspect every square inch of the project, with virgin eyes, for lack of a better term. That's a good thing. You don't have if you don't owe any favors to anybody, and you don't have any preconceived notions as to how the job is supposed to be done, and, you're going to learn on the job, you're going to turn over every brick and every stone. But unfortunately, in our society, we have to have money. For instance, Justin Barbera, common everyday man, wasn't allowed on some of the debate stages because he didn't raise $588,000. What in the world does $588,000 raised in a campaign have to do with his right for his voice to be heard? That's nonsensical and un-American, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. I think any candidate should be able to make it on the debate stage, as long as if they're a serious candidate, they get their signatures. That's hard to collect that many signatures. Pete and I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. It's very.
Oh yeah, we went from 1,000 to 2,500 mid-race.
Yeah.
There should be laws against legislation like that being able to be passed with no opposition and just slid through right in the middle, right smack in the middle of a race. That makes no sense. And it certainly hurts the small grassroots guy, the true grassroots guy. This is a candidate that refused to take any endorsements or money from anybody. He just wants to go in and try and do a job for his country. He was, motivated by a lot of factors, but he's doing this campaign in faith.
So I mean, well, that is very respectful. It is. But unfortunately, money does win campaigns. So Pete will take your money, by the way, just so you know.
That's
If
funny.
you want to donate, Scott, we'll take it. We're open for donations over here.
No worries at all. Yeah, and I heard you guys talking about that Indian food. Where was the invite there, Peter?
Oh, so sorry, buddy. I talked to Justin. He was down the shore. I mean, what can I do?
Yeah, I know. Justin. It's Marsha.
Don't worry, Scott. I'll send you the invite next time, okay?
Okay, brother.
But
So,
no, I mean, look, you're absolutely right, though. I mean, the money that's involved, you need it for the advertisement and things like this, and without having that platform to really get your message out there and heard, I mean, that's really where the problem lies.
Yeah, all of our focus has shifted to, we were putting in 16, 18, 20-hour days just to get the signatures, and it took all the focus away from being able to roll his platform out. Yeah, it really set us back. He has plans in place, and he put some of it up on the internet for some to see. But that's only one little taste of it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of pyrolysis for plastic to fuel.
Yeah, I think I read that. I think I saw when he posted that.
Yeah, and it's something that has a net negative carbon footprint. So not only does it make money and turn plastic bags and various plastics into biodiesel, but a benefit of that is 80% landfill reduction. The numbers are astronomical for the savings, and that's just with a pilot program.
Right.
So and there's some other things he wants to roll out as well. Piezo tech, like the European model, the touchpad, putting energy back into the grid. I mean, the list goes on, but he has to be heard. He has to be heard in order for the message to get out. And it's a shame you start to get a groundswell now of people saying, hey, wait a minute, this is a regular everyday guy.
So, yeah.
This is our guy. Why didn't we hear about him? It's a shame.
Well, one thing I will say from my own personal experience, because I kind of did the delete like Justin did when I ran for Congress. Just never held an office or anything like that. I was just fed up, had my kids, seen what was going on, and I'm like, you know what? I want to try to make a difference. So actually, a story where I got challenged to run for Congress by technically like two people in the same day, and it wasn't connected. So I'm just driving home from work. I'm like, wow, it's two people 2 days in a row just challenged me to run for Congress. And I came home and told her, I'm running for Congress. And she's like, no, you're not. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I did. And the thing is, nobody knew who I was. The last time when I ran, I did raise money, a little over $20,000, but that wasn't enough. There was the county line that got in the way, but that's gone now. That's good. But it also, I got to meet a lot of people. I got to know a lot of people, and a lot of people know who I am. I met Pete. It led to the radio, led to the podcast, and it led to still staying involved in politics and getting my name out there more. And now Justin's name is going to be out there. I mean, being a gubernatorial candidate, and then afterwards, I know he's not going away. And he's going to be involved.
No.
So, but it's a good launching pad, for him going forward, because there's another candidate that's going to be calling in. Bill is, and I like Bill a lot, and I like Justin a lot. But Bill was well known for a long time, being involved in politics. I didn't know Justin until I met him, and I'm like, wow, he's a pretty good guy. I mean, he reminds me of myself. Just regular guy in construction, like I am, and has a good heart and really wants to make things better in this state, and this country as a whole. And I saw a lot of myself in him. I think he's a great guy, but I think this will be a great launching pad for him, going forward. Unless he pulls an upset and he wins,
and then the real work begins.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
So,
Well, it's funny you should mention Bill Spadea because of all the candidates on the Republican side, he is the one that showed the most graciousness to Justin and myself in our campaign.
Yeah, that's why I like.
He acted so professionally and went out of his way to make us feel welcome and try to steer us in the right direction a little bit, which is unheard of from another candidate that you're running against. So I have to give him props for that.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's about. I don't know. Well, Pete, I didn't know Pete yet at the time. There was another candidate for Congress. What the heck was his name off the top of my head? Nick. I forget his last name. It'll come to me. But he was going to run. He dropped out before the primary. But I had the radio show, and I asked him to come in studio, even though he was my opponent. And I said I was just trying to unify the party and say this is what it's supposed to be. I'm tired of the backstabbing and the rhinos and the uniparty. I want to show an actual united party. And just tell people that if he were to win, I would back him. I would get behind him. And he said the same thing. So I allowed him to come on my show, my platform, and to talk. And, we just had a conversation. It was fun. I thought it was a good, healthy thing to do. Obviously on the radio, I told everyone not to vote for him.
But healthy discourse is always a good thing.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
It's all about lifting good people up, right? That's what we need to be focused on, is trying to elevate good people, because, the more good people we get into these positions, the more change we can actually make.
Indeed. And that's why I'm so passionate about my candidate, because I actually got to know him personally, not just through campaigning, but, I got to meet with his mother on several occasions. He's like, when you see somebody on a TV or on a commercial and, they go through the whole scripted thing that they do, everything that you hear from him is off the cuff. He doesn't script anything. So it's just, I know him personally. I know what his moral values are, and all of that. And he's one hell of a guy. He really is.
Well, and I think that's important too. And that's why I like Justin. That's why I like Bill. I mean, like I said, I saw myself in Justin. I think he is a really great guy. And actually, somebody just texted in. They voted for Justin today. Oh, by the way, Nick DeSilvio said hi to Pete. He said good luck, Pete.
I appreciate you, Nick. Appreciate it.
But that's why I like Spadea too. Like one thing I noticed about Bill, like every event that he's at, his wife is there with him, and it just shows me he's a family man. And if you can be married for I think 30 years or something like that, trust me, it's tough. I'm like 18 years married now, and it's crazy.
God bless you, brother.
Yeah, I know. But if you can be loyal and together with you can be, it shows character. And
yes.
They can be loyal to their constituents too. And I saw that in Justin as well. But that's what you need. You need good people. Like I this is something I was talking to Pete about. We were talking earlier about on Facebook. There's a girl that came after me. I just made a comment, about being a Republican, and she just came after me, with everything, called me Nazi, fascist, blah blah blah. And,
of course, yeah, I've heard it all before.
Yeah, and I see that you're on the, you're part of the America's Pulse Network, my network, and so she just trashed me, and I said, listen, why don't you come on my podcast or call on the radio show? And she said, oh no, I'm not going to do that till I can get, it's a trap and blah blah blah. And then just went on down the line, calling me Nazi, fascist, homophobe. I didn't even say anything. I think I said vote Republican. That's all I said. I said vote Republican, and then boom, I get smacked with this. But in the middle of all the trashing of me and doesn't even know me, she did mention that she had stage 3 cancer, and she's going through chemo, and then Trump is slashing the funding for cancer research, which is true. It's part of it, and I really don't think they know, because the bill's so big. It is taking away funding for some cancer research, and that's what my sister has metastatic breast cancer too. So with Steve DiOrio, the great Steve DiOrio, so here on Saturdays from 9 to 11, he is involved with Pennies in Action, which is a great organization for cancer research. And they have.
Yes, it is. I attended one of those events down in Vineland.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was there too. That's right. So, so my sister's actually going for her first treatment there, and she's metastatic, so it's like stage 4, and there's really at that point there's really nothing. But she talked to them, and they said they might be able to help her. So next week she's going for her first treatment. So even though that lady trashed me, didn't know me, called me Nazi, fascist, homophobe, so everything under the sun. When I saw that she had cancer, I mentioned Pennies in Action. I said I would get in touch with the organization if you want. I told her my sister had cancer as well, and I didn't go back at her. I didn't call her anything. I just said, I'm sorry you feel that way. I said, but if you want to try different, check this out. Check out Pennies in Action. Check out Dr. Nikki. So she didn't get back to me yet, or she may have. I didn't check. But that's a difference. Is my point. That's what I'm getting at. That's a difference.
Yeah, I've seen several examples of people that go to Republican rallies, Democrats that attend it, and they're welcome with open arms, and Republicans that go to, Democratic events and get attacked, and my whole life I've lived by one simple creed, and it's this: the measure of a man's worth is based on his actions, not upon his words. So what a person actually does when the bullets are flying is what matters, not what he says he's going to do. So you took the high road and you took the loving road, and that's all we can do as human beings. Is we're waiting for justice at the end of our life instead of doing justice to each other now. It's a shame.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Just keep trying to do the next right thing, brother. That's where I'm at.
Yep, that's all you can do. You can only do the right thing in your day-to-day walk and do the best you can. Even when they slap you in your left cheek, you have to sometimes turn and offer them your right cheek. And sometimes it'll change people and they'll see a difference. Sometimes it won't, but it's still our job to try to do the loving thing at all times.
Well, you're right. So, listen, thanks for calling in, because we're going to have other callers call in pretty soon. Appreciate you, and
no worries at all.
All right.
All right, Scott, get on, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you both fairly soon. I'm sure we run into each other all the time.
So, all right, you got it, man. Have a good one.
Thanks for the platform. Appreciate you.
No problem. You got it.
Have a great day.
So, yeah, Pete, I mean, that's what it's all about. Think about it. They say the word party, and you know what? To be honest with you, I would think that, back in the day, I always looked at Republicans as like being the uppity up. I was a Democrat growing up in the city, but then I opened my eyes and I realized that, wait, it's not even that. The Democrats went way too far left. I always looked at Democrats as the working man guy, you know what I mean? But they're not anymore. Oh, looks like we have another caller. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you from? And you're live on the air.
How you doing, Damon? How you doing, Pete? And Cruisin 92.1. This is Justin Barbera. I'm honored to speak with everybody today and talk about the bold vision that Scott was talking about, solving our landfill crisis and creating sustainable energy here in New Jersey.
So, all right. Sounds like what? So again, was that with the
pyrolysis?
But yeah, I couldn't remember. I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Right. It's technology that's really been in place since 2018. The New Hope Energy Plant operated pyrolysis in Tyler, Texas, turning plastic waste into renewable feedstock. They partnered with Luminous Technologies and Total Energies, and they process 140,000 metric tons annually. And this is growing. They're planning on opening up other locations in Dallas and Chicago. The byproducts in syngas, char ash, and there's a conductive material that's produced as well that we can use in semiconductors called graphene. New Jersey needs to lead the way in this technology to be able to advance into the future.
So no, that sounds great. I mean, we do have to find different ways for energy and not to have so much waste. But he was talking about what Scott was talking about, plastic bags and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. So what you do is you take this stuff and you can melt it back down, and it creates. You can melt it back into fuel, right? To oil, or you can go ahead and do all types of different things with it. It's really interesting technology. And I love hearing Justin talk about it, because, I mean, it's just outside of the box thinking. is coming up with different ideas for the problems that have been plaguing us for a long time that we've just become complacent with dealing with.
Well, the only thing
And as your,
go ahead,
as your
Justin.
governor, I'll bring the same problem-solving mindset that I've used in real estate development and being an entrepreneur to turn a vision into reality.
So, no, it sounds good. I mean, I remember you posting something on social media about it, and I was starting to read. I couldn't remember the name of it, and so Scott.
Well, actually, that's another technology that I want to push forward called piezoelectricity that Tokyo uses. We're going to benefit here in New Jersey because of our population, but I can't do this alone. And to make this vision a reality, I need your support on June 10th. We can make a big difference in the Garden State by voting for me in the Republican primary.
So, all right, man. Listen, we're just talking about all the candidates, man. And one thing I said when I met you, I didn't know you. I didn't know Pete. Or, when I first ran, that's how I met all these different people. And when I met you, I was like, man, I said he reminds me of me. Just
Exactly.
regular guy.
Exactly.
Who cares? So.
Well, I thank you for listening to my platform and 92.1 Cruisin family. Let's hit the road June 10th and make a better New Jersey together.
So, you got it, man. Thank you, Justin.
Brother.
God bless everybody.
All right.
All right, pal. You have a good
All right,
one.
have a good one, man. Good luck. So it's kind of cool, man. We got different gubernatorial candidates calling in. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and I like it too. I mean, and you see all these candidates other than like Bradnick. I mean, I'm not. I mean, Bradnick, I think he's a complete rhino.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That guy's a Democrat. I mean, there's no, that's a hands down. But I don't know. You just see. I don't know. There's something different with the Republican Party. Just a little bit different. There are rhinos, there's a uniparty out there. I just want to root them all out. The ones that are uniparty and rhinos and get rid of them. But people that really want to make change, like Justin, Phil, and I mean Jack. I'm not like really. I don't know. I will definitely get behind Jack if he wins. He's got Trump's endorsement and all that stuff.
I'm
But
gonna get behind whoever wins.
Whoever wins,
because that's what my job will be when I win. So
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be trying to do the same encouragement. I'm gonna be trying to introduce the same kind of things. I keep telling you, right? What do I keep saying is that we're watching the systems that we use crumble. And we're going to need people that are ready to embrace outside of the box thinking and try new things. I mean, you hear Justin, that's exactly what he was just talking about.
yeah. I mean, especially when you have a broken system, it needs to be fixed one way or another. It's not just going to be one person that does it. You need other people as well. That's why I
Agreed.
love the fact that you're running. Love the fact that Jack's running, and Nilsa and Constance and
Barbara. Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah.
And, she's going up against, oh my goodness. Is it Anna and Jerry, I believe?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's
Three names.
It's a lot of people. We got 80 assembly people coming in.
But it's good that people are getting involved, and people should get involved. And people told me this a while ago, and I didn't even think about. But I was running for Congress. I was already running, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you try to get on a committee and run for mayor and all that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm actually a congressional candidate right now, so I'm not going to pursue it." But they were right. This to start with something, and then I'll be on the committee. My wife's going to be on the committee. Something small, because they're all empty seats. They need people to fill them to start because they vote for the county chair and stuff like that. It's not a huge position. We really don't have that much responsibility, but nobody holds a position. But getting people like, and I still remember when Jack said it, he said it's not just getting people out to vote, it's getting people involved to actually run for office, whether it's just the committee or whether it's something small. If you don't have that much time to be an assemblyman or a state senator or congressman or U.S. senator, whatever.
Well, especially when you're working on another job, right? So now you're taking on two jobs, you know what I mean? And you still have a family, you got life. I mean, look, it's going to get busy. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, the more people that you can come in there and get together to try to focus on different things and come up with different ideas. I mean, we should listen to every idea, for validity, see if it's going to hold water, see if it's a good idea or not a good idea. Can this work? Can it not work? But that's it. I mean, look, you just said all of our systems are broken, all of them. And I mean, we have to come up with new ways to replace these, because duct tape just ain't working anymore.
No, it's not. They had to come out with that flex tape. So
And the flex can. Yeah, it's just, right? It's like, look, we've been trying to patch these holes in these systems for decades.
yeah, no, you're right.
And the holes, I mean, the whole hull is about to fall out the bottom of the ship. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ship.
You're right. And the thing is, I want to bring this back to the parties too, because this is important. You look at Republicans in general. And we know what they stand for. They're more, family, God, country. That's a big thing. America first, but still loving to everyone else. But they know you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of somebody else. But then you look at the Democrats. I don't know if you saw that debate in New York for the mayor debate.
I did not.
Well, I would say watch it just to see how horrible it was. I mean, they were going back and forth. They couldn't get a word in edgewise. The one woman that said that she was telling everyone her policy will be for all New Yorkers, if Trump doesn't give them the federal money to New York City for illegal immigrants and the money to trans children. I mean, I'm not like saying that she was like hinting towards it. No, she came out and said it. If Trump doesn't give the federal money to New York to take care of illegal immigrants and for gender affirming care for taxpayers to pay for mutilation of our children. She came out and said it. Taxpayers to pay for gender affirming care. So taxpayers would have to pay for someone to get a sex change. Why? Why would taxpayers pay that? And she said, and if Trump doesn't return that money, then no one under her policy don't pay your federal taxes. That's what she said during the debate. I'm like, what? These people are nuts. They're off the rocker.
And do you know what the worst part about it is that they don't even realize it.
Yeah, I know. But
they don't even realize it. I just saw a video, right, of this woman, and she was like, oh, I just switched from the Democrat to the Republican, and I can say for certain now that the Republican Party is the party of love, and the Democrat Party was the party of hate.
Yeah.
And it's like, we see it, our eyes are open, but you hear, like, even what you were talking about on Facebook earlier with that lady engaging and calling you all types of names. They think that you're the one that's wrong, but she's coming at you all types of sideways.
Yeah, I know, but it's just so. I don't know how you can vote for a Democrat. I don't know how you can. If anyone in New York City can vote for that one, I forget her name, and she's not going to win. But yeah, Cuomo is a front runner again. That guy.
He said, "Oh, I'm going to come after Trump for 8 years." We're like, really? Come on, bro. How about you fix New York?
Yeah, I know.
Why don't you focus on that?
Yeah, I know. I love that.
How much money is bleeding out of New York right now? Because you can't imagine that people are sticking around for this.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, how could you even think about voting for someone like Cuomo? He was the governor, and he had to leave. He got booted because all the COVID, all the people, all the older people that died, nursing homes. He's a little too handsy with the younger ones too. All that stuff came out. Now he's running for mayor to be relevant again, and he's leading. And you have all the other kinds. I mean, these people are complete.
Do they have a Republican candidate running in New York today?
I'm sure they do. I
have to. Because Lee Zeldin, right? Wasn't that? Oh, that was the
governor.
Okay. Yeah.
And he should have won. I mean, Hochul won by default pretty much. But it's just, how could you vote for that? How could you vote for it? Oh, that's my person right there. They're going to take care of it. They're not going to worry about me. They're going to take care of illegals, and they're going to train the kids. And the taxpayers are going to pay for it. How do you vote for that? I don't get it. How do you? It's impossible.
Because they've been shamed into thinking that that's what you have to do.
I just don't get it, man.
As soon as you don't go along with what they say, you're out of the cult.
Well, I don't know. If you want to come out of the cult, man, we'll take you in.
Well, they're afraid to leave the cult because they're in their bubble, thinking that that's the whole world, right there, right? And once you get out, you're like, oh, hey, man, it's nice over here. Come sit down.
Yeah, I know. But you were just saying earlier, what about Hakeem Jeffrey saying he's going to dox all the ICE agents?
How is he not in jail?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so tired of seeing this stuff.
Yeah, we're just going to dox all the ICE agents and put their names out there so people could be.
He didn't just say that. He said we're going to give them to Al Qaeda, to MS-13, to the cartels. Are you kidding me right now? That's an act of terrorism.
Yeah, I know. How he's not in jail for saying that he's going to dox ICE agents and give their names out to MS-13 and Trinidad Aragua. That's insane. I mean that's how far they've gone, and they just spent like $20 billion to figure out like what men like. they're all talking about going to the gym now. Let's go to the gym, because Republicans.
That's going to fix the problem.
Yeah, no, you don't need to spend $20 billion for all the men life. I mean, I could tell you for free.
I'm not going to tell it on the radio, but I can tell it for free too.
Yeah. It's like, come on. It's like it's so stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I don't understand how they just the further crazy they go, the more of their crazy base latches on, but they just don't have enough, thank God, to completely be a Democrat-run country. But
listen. So sitting here thinking about it, Damon, right? Like, what do we have to do to fix this country? Well, number one, we got to get the criminals out of there. Okay, and I'm any criminal that you want, whether it's the criminals in power, the criminals here illegally, doesn't matter. You got to get rid of the criminals first. You can't fix the problem if they're still here to break it, right? You know what I mean? And once you go ahead and do that, man, I mean, you got to wake these people up.
Yeah,
you have to. So what do you do to do that? Well, right now the media continues to tell them what to think every day. Because it's the media is all on repeat. Every single media, left-wing, media narrative, they're all saying the same thing. You see the videos where they echo the exact same.
Oh, yeah, I play them on the podcast all the time.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So then you try to go ahead and get into a conversation with somebody that's, in this club, and they say the same thing the TV says.
Yeah.
There's no, the words are completely right down to the same thing. It's like, man, you guys don't do independent think over here, huh?
No, they don't. I guess I'm just used to it. But when you look at it on every channel except for one or two, they're all saying the same thing.
And that's my point, right? So they think that's how the world really thinks. And it's like, guys, you're in this little tiny bubble over here thinking the same stuff. We have to wake these people. There's like half the country.
Yeah. I saw the other day, everyone posting, for Pride Month and stuff like that. And a lot of Republicans are, they're attacking it, saying, well, it should be Veterans Month. It should be. Listen, honestly, I don't care. I mean, does it have to be a month? I don't think so, but whatever.
No.
But I don't care if you're proud that I don't care what you do. But when it goes so far to where I played a video on the podcast last night, it was from last year or maybe a year and a half ago. Or no, well, it had to be last year or 2 years ago. I think it was last year. When they're all chanting on the Pride Parade, we're queer, we're here, and we're coming for your children.
Yeah, I remember that video.
I mean, no wonder why you're going to get a bad rap. I mean, we're here, we're coming for your children. Like, no, you're not. I'm not coming for my kids. I'm not saying anything about you being, gay, lesbian, whatever it might be.
The problem is that, look, there are some, good American patriot loving, you know what I mean, LGBTQ, right? And they get a bad rap because of a lot
of divide by sign, exclamation point. So yeah,
and it's a shame, right, that they get such a bad rap. But man, you got some nut jobs over there, man. You guys got to clean that up.
Yeah, I know. I know quite a few gay people that one, my nephew, was a good friend of mine, and they can't stand it. They're like, oh, I wish they would just shut up because they're just regular people.
Well, they have groups, right? The Gays Against Groomers and all these different things. I mean, look, there's normal people.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's these other people.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. How far they just want to keep going further and further and further left. And I mean, I watch the congressional hearings and I do it. I don't know, maybe I just torture myself.
Yeah, it's definitely torture, brother.
But you get some information. You see Scott Besson there, and he's getting grilled by Maxine Waters with the dead skunk on top of her head, whatever kind of what she wears on top of her head. But she's questioned them about Doge and saying, how many Doge employees got our personal information and our banking information and all that. And so, he said they were actually Treasury employees. They were hired. They're allowed to hire civilian employees to come do that job for X amount of days, like Elon did. And she kept saying, well, how many Doge? He said, and I felt bad for Scott Besson, like he was talking to a rock. Like he kept explaining it. He said there's no Doge employees. He said they were working for the government and they had to read only. They could only read only and find out the information. And she just kept saying, but how many Doge employees? And he's like, it's just his face. He's looking. He's like, what?
Sometimes you just want to ask these people if they were dropped on their head as a small child.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't understand. Like how many times do they have to repeat and explain that they were actually working for the United States Treasury? And it was unbelievable. I think he needs a vacation after that line of questions.
I imagine the majority of them do.
Hey, looks like we have a caller. Hello, caller. How you doing? You're live on the air. What's your name? Where you from? Hello.
Hey guys, hey, it's Bill Spadia. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Bill. How you doing?
Good. All right, show's going well today, huh?
Yeah. It's got a lot of cars, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in New Jersey, and a lot of stuff going around the country.
Well, if we count tonight, we are 5 days in a wake up from the biggest decision Republicans will be making and have made in honestly more than 40 years.
I would probably agree with that, Bill.
Yes, I agree. This is a big one.
I mean, look, you've got a choice between a liberal, fake Republican fraud in Jack Ciattarelli, who has a record. Not only has he voted to allow mentally ill men to change their birth certificates to pose as women, but he voted to raise the income tax, voted to raise the gas tax, voted to raise the sales tax, and in his time in the legislature, never produced anything that lowered costs on New Jerseyans. As a matter of fact, he went after cops, essentially saying they were overpaid volunteers. This guy is Chris Christie 2.0. He still, to this day, supports driver's licenses for illegals, and we all know that this is a pathway to criminal voting. He supported actively and has never retracted his support for an illegal alien to get a taxpayer subsidy to go to college in New Jersey. Now, think about that. Taxpayer subsidy for in-state tuition while we have veterans that are living under the stars because they can't afford to put a roof over their head or get a job on Monday morning. And this is how Jack Ciattarelli prioritizes. And now that he's gotten the Trump endorsement, he is so afraid of his own shadow because he's a coward. He got the endorsement based on a poll that his own internal guys did, and now he's stuck because he has been unable and unwilling to come out as a man and get into a discussion on how some of the tariffs are actually hurting New Jersey businesses. A man who bends the knee and will do anything he's told because he's so desperate to get an endorsement is not someone fit to lead the Republican Party, let alone the state of New Jersey. And I intend to stop him on June 10th.
All right, man. Sounds like a battle coming up here.
I'm telling you, that's what I heard. Bill, we love to hear it.
So our early voting already started,
Yeah.
And I believe the polls are closed on Monday, open back up Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yeah, so early voting goes through June 8th, and the polls are going to be open on tomorrow, Friday. They close at 8 o'clock tonight. They'll be open tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on Sunday, and then on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., then on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and if you've got a couple of different options. You've got to vote within your county, but you can go to any one of the early voting sites that are out there. You can actually get your location no matter where you are in the state by going to my website, Spadia for Governor. That's SPADEAFOR, SpadiaForGovernor.com. And if you are an unaffiliated voter, you are able to vote in the Republican primary. That means you walk in, you declare you want to vote in the Republican primary, they'll give you a ballot, you vote, and then you can go back to being an unaffiliated voter the very next day. If you have any issue whatsoever with voting, go to my website, SpadiaForGovernor.com. There's a hotline set up that we have lawyers and other campaign experts and election experts on standby to make sure that every legal vote counts. Turnout will matter. This race is close because the people are rising up and saying it is time to take back the Republican Party. It is time for common sense. It is time for courage and finding common ground that we can make sure that Democrats and unaffiliated who want to leave that the side of the left of center side that has so betrayed them over the decades. Most Democrats now, at least many Democrats and most independent voters, know that the Democratic Party has gone too far. But you don't beat the Democrats with a weak, cowardly, aging Republican whose time passed many years ago. Jack Ciattarelli should be retired and golfing in Florida on all the millions he made being a shill for big pharma while our children were dying in the opioid epidemic. He made money and invested tons of money in Chinese communist companies that were buying American farmland. This man ought to just take his money, go to his home in Naples, play golf, and leave the business of fixing this state, restoring common sense, integrity, strength, accountability, public safety, and honor back to Trenton government. Leave it to the rest of us who have a plan and are on a path to victory.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Throwing haymakers. I love it.
Yeah. Well, there's some powerful words there, Bill. So people are texting in right now, saying, voting for Bill. Okay, there you go. I'm looking at it right now. So listen, I wish everybody luck, man. We need somebody that's going to fix this state, and whoever wins, we got Peter Sykes running for assembly here. So he's going to get behind him, and he's going to need all the help he can get. So, but Bill, good luck.
Well,
thank you for calling.
Thank you.
We have about 30 seconds, so go ahead.
I was going to say, just remember, do not get turned away at the polls. We need unaffiliated voters and former Democrats and Republicans who usually don't vote in primaries to turn out. We are going to take this party back for the people, and then we're going to take the state back for the people. We need every vote. Every vote counts. The reason we got 4 more years of Murphy is 6 out of 10 voters stayed home. The reason Glenn Youngkin got elected in Virginia, 6 out of 10 voters turned out. I'm going to win this primary, but we need every single person to get out there, cast your vote early, or show up on election day, and we'll see you at the victory party, and then on to victory in November to actually get this state righted, on the right path.
All right, you got it, Bill. Thanks for calling in. My producer,
Thanks,
telling me
man.
I got to cut it. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one, Bill. Talk to you soon.
All right, everybody. So thanks for listening in. We got to go. Norm's going to kill us. He's got to start out the next program. So thank you very much. Catch us next Thursday and get out to vote.